Hey guys, Reviewz here for a review of Shadow of the Colossus that was released in 2005 for the PlayStation 2, developed by Team Ico and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. The game tells the story of Wanderer, a young man who sets out on a quest to bring a girl called Mono back to life by entering the Forbidden Land. Once there, Wanderer is tasked by the entity Dormin to destroy the 16 colossi that roam through the land in order to return Mono's soul back to her body. The gameplay of Shadow of the Colossus is pretty straightforward. You start at the Shrine of Worship, the hub of the game, before identifying where a particular Colossus is by raising your sword to the sun, which in turn produces light beams that converge on the point where the Colossus is. From there, you travel to the location to take down the Colossus. Wanderer's sword is used to expose the weak points of the Colossus, and you must find a way to scale the enormous creature to get to said weak points, attacking them to drain their health. Once a Colossus has been destroyed, Wanderer is returned to the Shrine of Worship, and the process begins again. Wanderer can take damage from a Colossus attack, or by falling, so you must find the right opening to climb up the Colossus. Wanderer also has a stamina bar, which governs how long he can hold on to objects, including Colossi. An important game mechanic is Wanderer's horse Argo, who is your only companion throughout the game. Not only does Argo help you travel from one location to another, you can also use him for horseback combat, which becomes extremely important in later battles. Shadow of the Colossus is unique in its presentation as an action-adventure title, since other than the Colossi, there are no other enemies in the game or other characters for you to interact with. In fact, Argo is the only real relationship you have with another character. Huge chunks of the game are just Wanderer and Argo travelling together, which creates an incredible sense of isolation, but also a true bonding experience at the same time. The environment is a vital part of the game, as you must find out how to use it to your advantage when engaged in battle with a Colossus. Many fights require you to lure a Colossus to a certain point and get them to attack, so you must plan your moves carefully. One of the things I really liked about this game is that a great level of strategy must be used to defeat the Colossi. You really have to plan ahead, figuring out where the weak points are and trying to exploit them, all the while this huge creature is busy trying to stomp you into the ground. The visuals in Shadow of the Colossus are truly stunning. Implementing the same minimalist design that was used in Ico, the game makes use of contrasting light and dark within a lush green environment. Similarly to Ico, Shadow of the Colossus has a distinct lighting style, using elements like saturated colours and motion blur to achieve its cavernous look. The impressive landscape is populated by mountains, plateaus, deserts and long winding valleys that make traversing the Forbidden Land a joy. I spent hours playing just to explore my surroundings and take in the atmosphere. Shadow of the Colossus pushed the graphical capabilities of the PlayStation 2 at a time when the console was beginning to show its age and was definitely in its twilight years. From a visual perspective, Shadow of the Colossus is a magnificent piece of art. Like Ico, the game has an ambient soundtrack, which is only heard during Colossus battles and while at the Shrine of Worship. Other than that, the game is virtually silent, save only for the sounds of Wanderer and Argo. There is a complete lack of life in the game world, which enables a sense of solitude that at times feels unsettling, yet gives you the feeling that you are a hero with a mission and nothing will stand in your way to achieve it. Project head Fumito Ueda wanted to challenge players' perceptions of what bosses were and how they would fit into a video game, which is why the only enemies in the game are the Colossi, and can only be tackled one at a time. Furthermore, Ueda developed Shadow of the Colossus as an indirect prequel to Ico, with a number of thematic connections such as the environment, the graphics, and the shadow creatures that appear in the Shrine of Worship. Ueda wanted people who played the game to decide the details of the story themselves, which is why there's so little backstory for any of the characters, and seemingly important plot points like Wanderer and Mono's relationship are left deliberately vague. Thanks in part to a large marketing campaign initiated by Sony, Shadow of the Colossus, unlike Ico, achieved large commercial success in the West, while also achieving widespread critical acclaim. Although this is a great game, I do have some problems with it. The frame rate, while smooth for the most part, does slow down a bit during Colossus fights, which can be difficult to manage when you're trying to figure out how to attack one. To add to this, the camera also tends to do its own thing when trying to battle Colossi. For instance, when trying to scale a Colossus, the camera will suddenly jerk to one side, leaving you disorientated and trying to figure out where you are. It feels at times that the camera chooses the most inopportune times to go haywire, leaving you at a tactical disadvantage. The last issue I have is with the stamina system. In my opinion, it is a little too sensitive. Too many times I found Wanderer losing his grip and balance due to a lack of stamina. This is particularly annoying when trying to climb a Colossus and Wanderer loses his grip and stumbles about, often leading you to fall off the Colossus and taking damage. I wish this wouldn't happen, but it does. Despite these small faults, Shadow of the Colossus is an amazing game that everyone should play, as in my opinion it was one of the reasons to own a PS2. From haunting surroundings, simple controls and a unique presentation, Shadow of the Colossus stands in a class of its own, so please buy this game. Well, that's the end of this review and my Ico Shadow of the Colossus miniseries. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, then why not consider giving this video a thumbs up? For updates, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, so until next time, peace out guys.